to give us a special message, I would like to call on the chairman, the honorable chairman of the Institution of Engineers India Qatar chapter, Engineer Abdul Sattar. Sir, kindly open your camera and microphone, and this time is yours.
Trying to turn on the camera, but host need a permit.
Oh, okay. Just hang on a bit, sir. To our Zoom host, please allow Engineer Abdul Sattar to open his camera.
Okay, if any difficulty there, that's fine. I can talk. Hi.
Wait a second.
Is there an issue? Then okay, that's fine. I can talk then. It's okay. But the camera, the host need to approve because they stopped. Fine. Our former president of India, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam said, "Thinking is progress. Non-thinking is stagnation of the individual, organization, and the country. Thinking leads to action. Knowledge without action is useless and irrelevant. Knowledge with action converts adversity into prosperity." Engineer Ahmed Yasim Al-Jolo, we are expecting he will join soon. Engineer Mark Anthony, Dr. Abdul Razak, Engineer Elvin, Engineer Ashford, Engineer Michaela, Engineer Lorraine, and other guests of honors today, special guests, fellow engineers, a very blessed good morning to one and all. Engineering is the professional art of applying science to the optimum conversion of natural resources to the benefit of man. The Institution of Engineers India is the largest professional body of engineers established in the year 1920 and incorporated by Royal Charter in 1935. Institute of Engineers India operates through 120 centers in India and 6 overseas chapters, having a membership base over 600,000 corporate members from 15 engineering disciplines. It's a matter of great pride. Today's program is conducting by Philippines Institute of Civil Engineers, Qatar chapter, in association with the Institute of Engineers India, Qatar chapter, to deliver a content-rich technical program. The topics are the power of digitalization in management of engineering and construction projects by Engineer Elvin, and another topic, risk management in quality construction project by Mr. Dr. Abdul Razak Rumane, former chairman of IEI Kuwait chapter. The Institute of Engineers India, Qatar chapter, was established in July 1991. We are proudly saying that this is 32nd year's anniversary we are celebrating. It is a non-profit professional organization. In the last 32 years of operation, our chapter now become the resourceful overseas chapter of the institution. Ladies and gentlemen, engineers are those who operate at interface between science and society. Engineers are the backbone of development and technology. I'm very proud to attend this meeting, especially with the Philippines Engineers Association. Definitely, we would like to facilitating and coordinating joint research projects and innovative startup programs. And we would like to continue organizing, promoting, staffing, and coordinating long and short-term academic activities to conduct specialized subject lectures, technical seminars, and workshops. And we would like to coordinate special short-term academic programs, including introductory seminars, events for students for both institutions to engage in general cultural activities, other areas of specialized learning. Finally, I would like to remind you an old saying that engineers rule the world, and we all are now on the way to become an engineer. So we should make a promise to ourselves that we use our intelligence, knowledge for the welfare of the society and mankind. And thank you very much, Mr. Mark, to invite us and give us the chance also associated program. And thank you very much for all the fellow engineers of this program. Have a wonderful day and the program. Thank you. Thank you. Over to the MC.
All right, thank you so much, Engineer Abdul Sattar. That's a very wonderful message. Thank you for gracing us your presence today. And also thank you for helping us organize this free collaboration webinar. And now I would like also to acknowledge our special guest for today. He will be also giving us a special message. May I call on the former president of Arab Engineers Federation and the former chairman of Qatari Society of Engineers. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to call on Engineer Jassim Al-Jaldo. Sir?
I think he's updating some connection issue. Could we continue the program maybe, please?
Okay, sure. He will be, okay. So we will
He'll
be
be
having
shortly there.
him in a while. Okay, and now I would like to give expectations to our participants. We'll be having two lectures for today to be presented by one speaker for each of our participating organizations, one from PIC and one from IEI. So it's very exciting because we will be learning a lot of things from both of them. And we will be having a 5 minutes break in the interval of our lectures. Okay, so you may raise a question during the presentation, anytime during the presentation, but be informed and bear in mind that all the questions will be answered after the presentation, and you might type your question by indicating also your chat, like for example PIC, then your question. Okay, and additionally, kindly avoid spamming our chat box. One question is, you can put your question once and wait for your turn and your question to be presented by the moderator. Okay, and of course, last but not the least, enjoy and learn a lot of things from today, okay? So to introduce our first speaker, may I call on again the chapter president of the Philippine Institute of Civil Engineers Qatar chapter, Engineer Mark Anthony Abendan, to introduce our speaker. That's Mark.
Thank you, BM. So our first technical presenter is a registered civil engineer by the Philippine Professional Regulation Commission and MMUP certified grade A civil engineer, an alumnus of Technological Institute of the Philippines, Manila, also a graduate of the Philippine Christian University Graduate School of Business Management, Middle East through EPM and Associates on Master of Business Administration, and a PhD candidate in Business Management, awarded with Leadership Medal. In 2015, he has completed the Consultant's Toolkit training at the Harvard University in Boston, Cambridge, Massachusetts, USA, and Cost Management course in 2013, accredited by Franklin University, Columbus, Ohio, USA. He has more than 20 years of experience in the construction and contracting industry in Qatar, in the Philippines, currently employed as a project manager, commercial and contracts manager at Al Hoda Engineering Works, with extensive experience in managing multiple projects, proficient in planning and scheduling, management of commercial and contracts, and in procurement and tendering, and adept in evaluating and resolving technical matters relevant to the project. He is a member grade of the American Society of Civil Engineers, a full member of the Association of Project Management, and an active regular member of the Association for the Advancement of Coast Engineers International. He is a past president of the Filipino Planning Engineers Association and former Philippine Institute of Civil Engineers PIC Qatar Chapter Board of Director year 2016, 2018, 2019, and 2020. He is an FPA Life member, PICE Life member, and project management and construction engineering specialist, and an ASEAN engineer as well. Ladies and gentlemen, to present to us the power of digitalization and management of engineering and construction projects, please help me in welcoming our first technical speaker, Engineer Elvin D. Fahotagana.
Thank you, Engineer Mark Abendan, PIC Qatar's current president. Am I audible?
Yes, bro.
Am I audible?
Yeah.
All
Yes,
right.
you may take away, Chairman.
Thank you again, Mr. President, for that remarkable introduction. Actually, earlier you have mentioned that you have high caliber and expert speakers. I felt nervous actually when you mentioned that. So a month ago, actually, Pressmark phoned me and discussed something that we will be having this collaboration webinar. And he gently asked me if I could be a speaker for this webinar with IEI. So here I am. Good morning, everyone. Good morning to all our friends from IEI, fellow engineers, and our special participants, our talented young engineers from various schools in the Philippines, the VISMA Virtual Internship of Students via Mentoring or Apprenticeship Mentees. Now, please allow me, Chairman, to share my screen.
Take it away, Engineer Elvin.
Okay. But before I start my presentation, please allow me again, with your indulgence, to show my profile. So here it is. I am also a project management professional, by the way, and awaiting conferment for the APIC engineer. So that's all about me. Take a little bit look. I hope that this digitalization will surprise you a bit. Before I proceed further, just a disclaimer. The materials in this presentation and my comments or information provided by my presentation are for educational purposes only, and nothing conveyed or provided should be considered legal. All copyrights and trademarks of images and videos belong to their respective IP owners and are used under fair use for educational purposes. The world is changing faster than ever before. The formerly so-called brick and mortar industry has entered already the digital age. On July 11, we witnessed the launching of Virgin Galactic into outer space by its founder, Richard Branson. And then 9 days later, the Blue Origin launched with Jeff Bezos on board. Elon Musk also wants SpaceX to reach Mars. So humanity is not a single planet species. The world's population in urban areas is increasing 200,000 people a day. Considering one of the global megatrends in the construction industry is the need to construct affordable housing, as well as social, transportation, and utility infrastructure. In the face of such challenges, the industry is almost under a moral obligation to transform. Did you know that the first ever 3D printed commercial building is in Dubai, United Arab Emirates? And it has achieved a Guinness World Record. The building measured about 6 meter high, 3657 meter long, and 12.9 meter wide. The building took only 7 days to print and 3 months to build and to adjust the interior design. The building required only 50% less manpower compared to the traditional methods. Let us watch this video. So this transformation will have transformative effects elsewhere on the wider society by reducing the construction costs, on the environment by improving the use of scarce materials or by making buildings more eco-efficient over time, and on in the economy side by narrowing the global infrastructure gap and boosting economic development in general. In 2020, due to the COVID-19 pandemic, the drive towards digital has accelerated, and the need for organizations today to digitally transform their operation is paramount. Digital is here to stay, and it is the only way forward. The imperative for companies both in the Middle East and around the world is to ensure that the right implementation of digital information to ensure the survival and success in the post-pandemic era. Those leaders who has set a long-term agenda to be proactive in establishing the vision of a digitally led organization will be those who can fulfill all the requirements of a complex journey. However, the engineering and construction sector is still reluctant to fully embrace the technological opportunities. That is why I thought of presenting this topic, the power of digitalization in management of engineering and construction projects. Let me start by discussing with you the construction industry at a glance. In 100 AD, the invention of concrete, and consider the Pantheon in Rome, 2,000 years ago, it is home to the world's biggest unreinforced solid concrete dome, which weighs over 4,500 tons. And it has a diameter of over 43 meters and is built without a single piece of reinforcing steel. It was completed in around 126 AD. This one done basically by a Roman contractors innovation of a new type of lightweight concrete using volcanic ash, which allowed the structure to span such long distances. While preparing to build the Eddystone Lighthouse in 1756, engineer John Smeaton conducted a series of experiments which led to the discovery of hydraulic lime, the first use of concrete or Portland cement. A mixture of limestone and clay would set underwater, making it perfect for use in building a lighthouse. Then in 1760, the first industrial age began, where iron and steam engine became popular in the construction works. Then in 1777, Thomas Farnall's Pritchard, he designed a bridge where it was approved by Act of Parliament in 1777. Then on the same year, the construction began. And it was overseen by Darby's grandson, Abraham Darby III, after Pritchard's death, made of a cast and single span bridge of about 30 meters with 5 main semicircular ribs. Then, in 1800s, the general contractors was established. Then in 1818, the first rectangular successful tunneling shield was developed by Mark Isambard Brunel and patented by him and Lord Cochrane in 1818. Then a steam shovel was invented in 1839 by William Smith Otis, an American inventor. And this Mr. Otis received a patent for his creation in 1839. Then in 1853, Francois Coignet built the first iron reinforced concrete structure ever in Paris, France. Though bricks are predominantly used earlier than 1855, the brick making machine was first introduced also in the same year, in 1855. Then 1880, the second industrial age began, where Thomas Edison invented the first electric generator. This one is the mature high-rise building. Technology emerges in 1895, and then in 1900, prefabrication became more widely used. Then in 1905, the emergence of project planning. In 1900s, here we have the development of CAD. Then in 1985, the first concept of on-site automatic and robotic emerged. In 1993, laser scanners are first used by engineers. And then 1997, the first beam route established. Then in 2000s, cloud computing starts gaining momentum. Then in 2010, emergence of drones or AI, artificial intelligence, virtual reality, and augmented reality construction in 2010. Then in 2013, the first 2-meter building block was 3D printed. Now, let us look at this current digital landscape around the world. Just this January, the total world population stood at 7.83 billion. Qatar has 2.95 million, Philippines has 111 million, and India has 149 billion, almost 18% of the global population. In Qatar, Qataris constitute only 15% out of the 2.95 million, whereas there are 11% of Filipinos and 24% of Indians. The next highest is Nepali, with 16% of Qatar's total population. For unique mobile phone users, there are 5.22 billion mobile phone users, or 66.6% of the global population. And it is growing every day. In 2016, did you know that there are only 3 billion users? Around 1.1 billion users in India. In Qatar and the Philippines, surprisingly, mobile phone users exceed the population. You can see here, the population of the Philippines is 111 million, but the mobile phone user is 152.4 million. While in Qatar, the population is 2.95 million, but the mobile user is 4.67 million. Why is it? For one simple reason. Many of us have several phones, isn't it? So the number of internet users worldwide is around 4.66 billion, about 60% of the world's population. In India, there are only 624 million users. In the Philippines, there are around 73.9 million, or 91 million rather, while here in Qatar, there are almost 2.9 million, almost equal to their population. For the active social media users, let us look. Around 53.6% of the global population are active social media users, or 4.2 billion. India has 448 million. The Philippines has 82.33 million, and Qatar has almost equal the population with 2.87 million. So most of the people around the world are already digitally engaged. Construction is important. Consider figures, 6% represents the global GDP, and it is equivalent to 10 trillion US dollar in revenues. And is a powerful stimulant for growth of economic activity, with similar impressive figures for the markets. In the UK, every £1 invested in construction delivers 2.84 pounds of economic activity. It provides the residential, social, and economic infrastructure that underpins so many parts of our everyday lives. And that importance is only set to increase. By 2030, worldwide construction output is forecast to reach 17.5 trillion US dollar, some 85% greater than 2014 levels. The scale of the task ahead is intimidating. If digital transformation is to improve the construction and engineering industry, it will go beyond changing processes and incrementally increasing the productivity. It will surely have greater success. However, if we think the transformation will eliminate our jobs, we will be replaced either by sophisticated algorithms that outthink us or by robots that outwork us. There is some truth in this, as technology will drastically alter the nature of labor during the next decade. Yet, technological advancements are as old as human history, and construction professionals may take comfort in knowing that they have a long history of adjusting to and driving this change. We have grown accustomed to a faster rate of change in recent years. Take, for instance, building information modeling, or BIM. BIM's advantages are now too compelling to ignore. In 2013, 2014, it was a major contributor to nearly 800 million pounds in construction cost savings in the UK alone. It's a perfect representation of how technology can influence construction and how early adopters can benefit. Now, within 10 years, according to Boston Consulting Group analysis on recent studies, full-scale digitalization in non-residential construction will lead to annual global cost savings. From design and engineering and construction phases, 0.7 trillion US dollar to 1.2 trillion US dollar, or 13% to 21% cost savings, and 0.3 trillion US dollar to 0.5 trillion US dollar, or 10% to 17% in the operations phase. Technologies such as robotics, mobile phones, Internet of Things, cloud, and big data are the main drivers of change in employment between 2015 to 2020, accounting for 2.02% change compared to an overall flux of 1.73%. Based on the recent research by BCG, digital transformation is the only way forward. We know that the pandemic's impact on business has been felt across all sectors, but not all businesses. They are facing questions of survival. Companies that are well advanced in their digital journeys have demonstrated more resilience in their operations despite the unprecedented shock of COVID-19, given their ability to serve customers digitally. BCG recently tracked the operators of telecom industry across 45 markets over 5 years and found that the most digitally mature organizations were able to consistently improve their business results and market share. So, Global Digital Telco Study tracked the digital maturity of organizations in the industry from 45 countries that service 75% of the world's population. Despite the 6-nation GCC countries having among the world's highest smartphone and mobile broadband penetration rates, the Middle East still ranks in the lower half of market, measured with a substantial number of telcos employing digital process and ad hoc and without any clear vision or strategy. Based on the BCG Digital Acceleration Index, or DAI, the scores and the study rank organizations as being digitally passive, digitally literate, digital performers or digital leaders. Companies in nearly all the markets measured were able to claim an average DAI that ranked them between being digitally literate and digital performers. However, the gap between leaders and laggards in each market is vast. Laggards meaning those who are slow to act, or in marketing terminology, it compares a group of consumers who avoid change and may not be willing to adopt a new product until all traditional alternatives are no longer available. Why is it essential to more digital project delivery in all types of built environment, also in engineering and construction projects? Let us talk about construction issues. In the engineering, construction, and construction industry right now, we are facing high risk involved in the construction process. Too much waste produced. Construction is a slow process. If you consider the time from early planning stage to the construction completion, slow adaptation to new technologies, it is another issue that is repeatedly mentioned by professionals and researchers. So many hazards involved in a construction. The industry is fragmented with so many disciplines involved in a project. When you consider all the risks, waste, and hazards, it has low profit but has huge potential. There is a shortage of skilled labor. They are slow at learning and relearning. And there is a massive shortage of professionals with an advanced digital skills. Digital technology is a key player that can help us resolve some of the issues in the engineering and construction industry. Digitalization in engineering and construction industry is the use of digital tools and technologies in the planning, design, and engineering, construction, and management of the built-in environment. It requires hardware, softwares, and competent professionals. Let me provide you a simple example of the most well-known technologies, the CAD, or computer-aided design. This is extensively used in the engineering and architectural for design, drafting, and documentation. These are some of the advantages of CAD. Accurate and fast, high accuracy and fast documentation, easy modification, easy to make changes and modifications, scaling, easy scaling. You can draw a 1:1 scale and rearrange the scale later on the project. Drawing size, flexible drawing size, views, and adjust the resolution. You can split screen, you can give multiple monitors. Template, easy and fast use of similar templates of different projects. Import, export, easy import and export, easy incorporation of libraries, objects, shapes, and blocks. Integration, compatibility and integration with other digital technologies, like, for example, BIM. So let us look at this timeline produced by Graphisoft, which I found very interactive on CAD and BIM development. The graph shows that around 90% of professionals in the engineering and construction industry are using 2D CAD. Surprisingly, the graph also shows that over 50% of professionals using 3D CAD, and around 30% are using BIM applications, meaning there is a huge market here, as the construction regulations, requirements will sooner or later require BIM applications in all engineering and construction projects. 4D and 5D appears to be considerably have a lower percentage, which again suggests an amazing market and job opportunities awaits for the professionals in the engineering and construction industry. Let us look into some obstacles in front of full digitalization and use of BIM and other applications. License price. Digital software and computer hardwares can be high price for individuals, and especially on small companies. The training. Training requirements sometimes quite complex and very time consuming, but then again, it is a time well spent. Unlearning and relearning, continuous learning, unlearning, relearning, rescaling and upscaling competency in digital tools requires lifelong learning, as every year, new emergence of software and better and more accurate tools showing in the market. The privacy concerns and the risk of technical difficulties. And then the high-spec computers. High-spec computers dependency is another obstacle. Actually, the COVID-19 pandemic has published towards or has pushed towards digital, in which it has brought a new urgency to most all of the business sectors. We know that global efforts to resolve the pandemic are going on, and the viewpoint of economies locked down in time without end is not an option. However, the vast majority of companies are struggling to recover control over their top and bottom lines. The future for them is also miserable, given that any resolutions of the pandemic will not lead to a resumption of that business as usual environment. COVID-19 has only worsened the risks and challenges organizations were already facing. This includes, but are not limited to, increasing customer expectations in a digitally connected world. This is becoming increasingly true with ubiquitous connectivity and unprecedented smartphone penetration. Increasing competition from digital natives and challenges. Unlike legacy products and services, digitally advanced businesses can scale across geographies at a rapid pace. The proliferation of connectivity has also eliminated, reduced, or modified the barriers to entry across sectors, encouraging revolutionary instead of evolutionary developments. Difficulty attracting and retaining talents. With the uptake of the gig economy and an accelerating trend of the work from anywhere concept in the wake of COVID-19, talent in the future will have many options, and companies will need to evolve their culture and ways of working to attract and retain talent. Relaxation of regulatory controls. More competitive and innovative offerings are leading regulators to reconsider the regulatory framework to promote economic development, putting pressures on incumbents to evolve themselves to stay relevant. Now let us look at this transformation. And transformation is a journey. In a recent complex and large-scale digital transformation undertaking in the communications and technology, there are 5 imperatives to deliver a successful transformation were identified as outlined in this figure. Institutionalized digital governance, reimagined journeys, next-gen technology and delivery, unlock the potential of data and analytics, digital talent and culture. Actually, many organizations have realized the need to react, but they are also discovering that digital transformation can be a complex journey that many have found difficult to advance and implement. Questions concerning how to set up governance, infrastructure, and technology, new ways of working and organizational culture can prove complicated to navigate for organizations who are already struggling to cope with the challenges outlined earlier. Approximately 70% of organizations fail in their attempts to transform. This happens for a variety of reasons, including inadequate funding, improper governance, unempowered business units, inconsistent ways of working, legacy infrastructure, and issues with finding the right talent. In the telecom industry, for instance, respondents to BCG's recent global telco study who were unable to progress on their digital transformation cited financial constraints and resistance from their internal organizations as the primary obstacles to achieving their goals. For organizations that will inevitably find themselves compelled undergo digital transformation, it is essential to understand what they hope to achieve from it, a question that can otherwise be phrased as, where do you want your organization to be in the next 3 to 5 years? While the tools and application deployed can be adjusted, the underpinning methodology, practices, and principles behind any transformation will remain broadly the same. When organizations pursue digital transformation, what they want to adopt is operational agility, new ways of working, reimagined journeys, and flexible technology. Regardless of the industry, the themes across digital transformation remains broadly constant. Let us go through these 5 imperatives to deliver transformation one by one. Institutionalize digital governance. Develop a business-led digital portfolio and establish a digital transformation office with supporting processes to empower the business to execute transformation initiatives with robust governance and incentives. How it will be done? First, establish alignment among executives on key strategic choices for the digital agenda, including scope, specific units versus organizations wide, the extent of products, services, or redesign, simplify and rationalize versus zero-based rebuild, and more. Second, identify specific KPIs to baseline, define ambition and track the digital evolution of the organization, and then develop a business-led portfolio of initiatives to deliver on a digital ambition aligned with business priorities. And then lastly, revamp legacy corporate processes to support the digital transformation. For example, agile funding, agile sourcing, etc. Then reimagine journey. Launch an iterative journey, reimagination, adapting new ways of working to streamline the experience for customers, employees, and partners to create a mechanism, enabling a new operational model for the client to rapidly launch products and services, delivering an unparalleled experience. How it will be done? Number 1, identify the potential journeys for reimagination and prioritize based on desirability, viability, and feasibility aligned with the digital ambition. Then launch pilots to revamp the prioritized journeys and demonstrate business value with new ways of working. Third, develop playbooks to standardize the new ways of working across the organization, incorporating learnings from the pilots. And then lastly, scale up the reimagination journey, building on the learning of the pilots and leveraging the corporate new ways of working playbooks. Next-gen technology and delivery. Get a support to migrate to a modular technology architecture and revamp the traditional IT delivery model for decommissioning legacy infrastructure in favor of next-gen digital capabilities. By doing this, it supported the transition into cross-functional delivery setup to enable the agility to adapt to dynamic market environment and improve faster go-to-market. How it will be done? Number 1, develop and execute a technology roadmap or evolution roadmap aligned with business priorities. Then second, define and launch a transitional roadmap supported by well-thought through migration strategy and decommissioning plan. And then transition the legacy IT setup into a digitally factory by embracing new ways of working, such as agile and design thinking. Number 4, pilot of revamped delivery model through lighthouse projects and eventually scale it across the organization. Unlock the potential of data and analytics. Implement use cases to be aligned with strategic priorities with a clear goal to deliver revenue potential to enhance the customer's experience. This will be vital to help identify opportunities to monetize data, and build the required capability to unlock future potential from data and analytics. How it will be done? Number one, initiate capability build-up to implement prioritized use cases. Number two, create analytic monetization strategy. And number three, align analytics operating model with clear roles and responsibilities. Digital talent and culture. Instill a digital mindset among leadership and employees to embrace the new ways of working to infuse digital and innovation in company and rapidly build its digital capabilities. How it will be done? Number one, design and launch a center of excellence, strategy and operating model to support scaling up the new ways of working. Develop digital workforce strategy leveraging digital portfolio, including other relevant inputs such as end-to-end delivery model. Let us look at these typical pitfalls to avoid. Number one, the lack of top management and leadership focus. One of the most common pitfalls we see is the loss of momentum in the transformation journey due to the lack of commitment from the top management and leadership team. When this happens, often the middle management lose the excitement and become source of resistance to change. Transformation requires a strong commitment and steering from the top for effective execution. This can be avoided by establishing a transformation office, reporting to the top management or senior most executive with clear accountability to track the unified agreed KPIs and outcomes. And then legacy culture and mindset. Digital transformation is a complex journey and often falls prey to an organization's legacy mindsets, demonstrating strong resistance to change. One way organizations can drive the change is by setting a tone from the top to ensure the organization embrace change. One example could be the top management and the leadership team adopting the agile ways of working principles. Third, multiple and fragmented corporate initiatives. Most corporate initiatives have multiple strategic priorities with in-flight supporting programs. This typically causes delays in initiatives kickoff, funding, resource augmentation, and overall prioritization. This could be avoided by deprioritizing fragmented initiatives and focusing on consolidated corporate with a dedicated focus on the transformation. Then, legacy corporate functional processes. Legacy corporate processes are typically not designed to achieve the agility required to deliver the required support for the transformation. We often see the organization's legacy processes, like sourcing, which typically could take a long time to onboard a required partner. And then unclear governance bodies with a lack of authority. Digital transformation agility is often challenged with too many governing bodies. The shift to digital project delivery is very essential and inevitable. More companies are adopting digitalization. More clients are requesting for it, and more regulations towards digitalization are in place. Over the last decade, the increase of high-speed connectivity and combined with the steps of changing preferences across demographics has created the need for services and solutions that are delivered faster and are easier to end users to access. This has led to digitally savvy players tapping into changes in client behavior and moving ahead of the competition by accelerating digital transformation and embracing new ways of working. So these are the key takeaways. Digital is growing in acceptance in the construction industry. This will result in a competitive disadvantages professionals and firms that delay digital implementation. Second, digital transformation is being driven primarily by outside forces as project owners increasingly demand digital capabilities from construction firms. Third, digital construction solutions reduce cost and risk and improve collaboration in project design, construction verification, delivery, and operations. The power of digitalization. Digitalization offers numerous opportunities to increase operational efficiency, from the direct cost, delays, security, and environmental impact. Like, for example, in the interactive work processes, virtual, augmented, and mixed realities, as well as decentralization, in situ documentation, connected schedules, and immediate planning adjustment, visions of historical changes. Process efficiency has the potential to drastically increase through the more efficient, transparent, and rapid collaboration. For the connected machines, equipment, and workers, all machines and equipment, and even the workers on construction sites, have the potential to ultimately be connected, triggering improvements on dimensions such as maintenance, energy consumption, health and safety, incidents, delays, or quality. Robotics-related innovations are also being tested and increasingly applied to automatize the execution of repetitive tasks and support workers, and then the industrialized models. So the industrialization of processes and parts, construction trends to industrialize through prefabrication, modular production, or 3D printing, for instance, which is without doubt a big opportunity to increase the productivity in the sector. So in conclusion, as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic, digitalization in the country or in the construction industry is rapidly evolving. While modernization is still not widely spread or effectively managed, nonetheless, digital in construction will lead to applications and advancements that we have yet to envision. Digitalization is not only about technologies, it is also about organization, processes, and people. Now is the appropriate time to adopt a true digital strategy in the construction industry. Adopt a true digital strategy in the construction industry. The capabilities of BIM and or CIM, the quick expansion of many startups, and the ever-increasing demands of clients make it necessary to transition from a field of concept mode to a true overall strategy with a clear mid-long-term disruptive vision articulated to the company and a 5 years roadmap. Digitalizing company is about changing its behaviors and providing a renewed purposes and identity behaviors for the long run. It all boils down to defining a balanced transformation for construction industry. On one hand, it must be structured, planned, and carried out efficiently by company leadership. On the other hand, it must allow for creativity, new ideas, a faster market pace, flexibility, and open collaborations, to put it in another way, or in a widened vision on a paved road. Migrate to digital transformation. Launching a new approach is no longer an option. It has become unavoidable. The construction industry is currently being reinvented by digitalization, which is causing an overall value migration from the central construction value chain up to the engineering and design functions, and then down to the facility management and also in operation services. Throughout the construction processes, a large amount of data will be generated that will be hugely beneficial and must be gathered. Lastly, take fast position. Cost baselines are rapidly evolving, intensifying competition in a context with traditional low margins. So taking fast position in sync with a fast-moving market is critical for capitalizing on opportunities and avoiding long-term setback. Please watch this video.
Welcome to your worksite in the digital era. Your working methods have evolved to provide better transmission of information, better visualization, and better organization. Now you work with the digital mock-up linked to your reference system. From now on, your worksite's organization is simpler, clearer, and more straightforward. Every day, you visualize developments on your site in real time with your team. Everything is displayed here: access points, traffic, storage areas. The digital mock-up also lets you evaluate safety on a day-to-day basis. From now on, the digital mock-up guides you through your procedures. All tasks that need to be completed during the day are clearly indicated. The cycle is continually updated, allowing you to alert your teams to the goals that need to be reached and the safety requirements that need to be followed. Reference codes, storage area locations, technical specifics, everything is provided. Each person has access to the information needed to perform their tasks at every moment. From now on, the slightest difficulty is anticipated and the most minor material is indexed. Measurements that are strictly necessary for production are provided beforehand. From now on, the productivity of your worksite is optimized and worksite logistics are assured. Throughout the day, all of your requests are saved and stored together in the project reference system, which immediately processes your needs by order of priority. Your crane operator visualizes these operations in his cab, organized in real time according to the needs of your worksite. A GPS helps him locate material storage areas. From now on, your daily tasks are simplified. Laser tracking lets you gain greater precision. The possibility for human error during installation is eliminated, guaranteeing you peace of mind. From now on, the digital mock-up supervises and validates the proper execution of your daily tasks. Each verification, each photo, each self-inspection form is stored here in the reference system. The digital mock-up serves as a veritable memory system for your worksite. From now on, the digital mock-up saves you time, eliminating the need to manually fill out forms and thus eliminating sources of error. All information entered and validated throughout the day is processed, analyzed, and updated. With a simple click, you gain access to your daily progress plan. From now on, site superintendents are notified of the progress of their orders in real time. The digital mock-up helps you monitor your deliveries. That concrete delivery needs to go to the right workstation. Site workers are immediately notified that the concrete has arrived. The reference system automatically transmits the necessary information to the accounting and management departments and stores all documents that are essential for traceability. From now on, your daily progress plan is easily updated. The format can also be used for efficient collaboration with the foreman. The digital mock-up guides you throughout the day and in the evening helps you prepare the next day's construction cycle. The digital mock-up never sleeps. From now on, the digital mock-up is your trusted partner for shaping a better life.
So that's it. From now on, let's go for digital construction. And these are my references to my subject topic. So thank you. And I will say this popular parting word of our PICE National President: be happy, be healthy, and holy always. Back to you, Chairman.
Okay, thank you so much, Engineer Elvin, for the very informative and aesthetical presentation. Truly that digitalization and technology nowadays have a great impact and influence in the management of engineering and construction projects, especially nowadays that we are dealing with this pandemic. So majority of the platforms that we have right now is involving technology. So that is basically something that every one of us needs to cope with. And now for the question and answer, may I call on the second vice chairman of PICE COPA, Engineer Lorraine Radan. Are there any questions that we have for now?
Hi, good morning. For now, we don't have any questions from our participants.
Okay, ma'am. Are there any, no questions from the participants right now?
Okay. There is one. What is the benchmark for implementation of digitalization vis-a-vis the cost and duration of the project?
Actually, BIM is taking the center stage in the digital transformation in engineering and construction industry. So this software is the focal point for the platform for the integration from design, modeling, planning, and collaboration. There is also a new software called City Information Modeling. So the benefits throughout an asset's life cycle, from the cost analysis for the archiving of analysis for the benchmarking, is very fast. You can easily access it because of this software that being used.
Thank you, Engineer Alvin. That's all. Any question, please? I think we don't have an. Is there another question from the participants? Okay, I think they are still amazed by your presentation. So maybe, maybe they are amazed with your digital presentation for this new new way in construction. So
Yes. All right. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Ma'am Lorraine, and thank you, Engineer Alvin. The presentation is really great. That's why maybe everyone is amazed, as per Ma'am Lorraine. So now, before we proceed to our second lecture to be presented by one of our speakers from IEI Qatar chapter, we will be having our 5 minutes break. Okay? See you guys after the break. Thank you.
Dr. D, good morning. I think you're mute. You're on mute. So this is our break time. We can talk.
Yeah, okay. Now it's okay?
Yeah, it's okay.
Okay.
I
Now
see-
let's connect.
Now, 5 minutes break. So meantime, you can test it also, your connectivity. Yes.
Yeah, I will just try to connect it. It's okay.
Yeah, Engineer Harris D, for this presentation, I think they already published through YouTube. You can have the presentation through YouTube, I think. Harris D is asking the questions.
Now, can you just try to connect me on this?
Yeah, Sardi, your the lighting arrangement, kindly check. Huh? Yeah. Okay, because some light on your face. Espirito, kindly allow him to connect to the presentation. We can test it, whether it's okay. He's connecting from Kuwait.
Oh, he's from Kuwait, sir.
Yeah, yes.
You may start share now, Doctor.
Yes.
Doctor, could you?
I have to.
Share screen, sir, that green color button. Kindly click on that. Then.
Please allow me to share the screen.
Yeah, could you make him co-host, Ashford?
Sure. Yeah, you're in co-host now.
Wonderful.
Again?
Doctor.
Yeah, doctor, kindly check.
So still, I think there is something wrong, and I'm not able to connect it. All panelists, it's okay.
You open first your presentation, and then in Zoom, just click share screen and then select the presentation played.
Yeah. Excellent. Now it's coming.
Okay.
Yeah.
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 You can
Okay,
make
tell
it
me when I have to
presentation
start,
mode.
then I will start again.
Yeah.
My
No,
voice
it's
is okay?
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
Voice is okay. You can make it a presentation mode, sir, because this is a PowerPoint.
Yeah, you can just click the bottom part. It's like say slides.
I
Play.
think if press F5 also it will work, right, Ashford?
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
I will, when I start, I will connect it to it.
Down right, there is a one
Panel.
yeah,
There's
it's
a
like
screen,
a projector.
screen.
Like a projector. You can just click that one and then you're ready to go. Down right.
That zoom in, zoom out. That's sir. Kindly press F5, sir. F5 function key F5. It will go to presentation mode, sir. Function key F5.
Great.
Okay, that's good. Very good.
That's good.
Leave it like that, sir. Leave it like that. No problem.
And Ma'am Michaela,
Yes, sir.
I would like to inform and everyone also, the attendees, that they will be receiving a certificate, but in order to receive the certificate, we'll be sending a Google form to indicate your correct name in the certificate and your post nominals, your email address, and your number. If there will be an error of your certificate, we can call you. So I will be sending the Google Forms after the webinar.
Thank you.
All right. And also, Chairman, right? That this webinar is being recorded and all the presentation materials will be sent to them after the webinar.
Yes.
Okay.
It will
Wonderful.
be sent to your email address in PDF format. Okay. I think 5 minutes is over. Engineer Michaela, take it away.
Okay, so again, welcome to our speakers, to our guests, and even to our participants. So we're now proceeding to our second part of our webinar, where we will be hearing the second lecture. Okay, please be reminded again that you may raise your question in our Q&A chat box, and all the questions will be entertained after the presentation during our Q&A portion. So you may write your question there. Every time you have a question, it will be answered by our speaker. So if time is not enough, all questions not answered will be answered through email or so by our speaker. Okay, so don't worry, all the questions will be entertained. And now, To introduce our second and last speaker for today, may I call on again the chairman of the Institution of Engineers India Qatar chapter, Engineer Abdul Sattar. Sir?
Yes, thank you. One second. Thank you, Engineer Espirito. It was a wonderful session. Actually, what we expected more than that, we are getting now from this event. And a big appreciation to the coordinators and who are behind, the engineers who are work for this program, especially from Philippines Institute of Civil Engineers. And we are very happy with immense pleasure. We would like to join IEI part in this session now. And the speaker who was with us now, Engineer Elvin, taken from 100 AD to 2030. We can see one of the Qatar national vision is itself is for a digitization. So the digital transformation is going on in very high mode, especially in our Qatar. And the wonderful presentation, especially I would like to, from the bottom of heart, congratulate Engineer Elvin for your presentation and the information which you shared with us. Thank you very much. Next, we would like to go to our Dr. Abdul Razak Rumane. He is from the former chairman of our IEI Kuwait chapter. He's going to present the topic, how to manage risks in quality of construction. Dr. Rumane is an internationally acclaimed author of 6 useful books in the field of quality in construction projects, published by Taylor and Francis Group companies. It is in the United Kingdom and the United States. His book, Quality Management in Construction Projects, is translated into Korean language as well. Dr. Rumane made numerous technical presentations at various international conferences. Presently, he is Vice Chair of ASQ Kuwait Section and International Liaison Committee Chair of ASQ, Design and Construction Division. He has served Chairman of IEI Kuwait chapter for 4 terms. Presently, he is associated with Sigil Company as Advisor and Director of Construction Management. He's going to present today the topic, how to manage risks in quality of construction. As we know, ISO 9001:2015 emphasizes on risk-based thinking. One of the key changes in the revision is to establish systematic approach to consider risk rather than treating prevention as a separate component of the quality system. Construction projects have an abundance of risk affecting most participants in certain portion of overall construction project risk. This session will discuss different categories of risks in construction projects, risk at different stages, potential risk in quality of construction projects, and mitigation action, scope, schedule, and cost. Let us heartily welcome Dr. Abdul Razak Rumane to present risk management in quality construction projects presentation. Dr. G, over to you.
Engineer Abdul Sattar, Chairman, IEI Qatar Chapter, Engineer Mark, Chairman, Philippine Institute of Civil Engineers, Engineer Jojo, and all my colleagues who are in this function, who are attending this webinar. Good morning to you. Assalamu alaikum. It is really a pleasure for me to share my knowledge with both organizations which are actively involved in the construction projects. I am really happy, and I am very much delighted. Actually, I was trying through Engineer Abdul Sattar, and he has given me a wide range today. It is not only one institution, it is 2 institutions, and I hope and everybody will be benefited from this topic. So today's topic is how to manage risk in construction projects. I will be discussing introduction, then what is construction projects, what is quality of construction projects, what is risk management in construction project. There are 3 items in it: planning, processing, and risk levels, and potential risk and mitigation actions. Please, if anybody is not able to listen me properly, tell me, so I will be able to either correct it, or I don't know, because I'm not very near, I'm far off, but still I will be able to do something. ISO 9002 2015 emphasized on risk-based thinking. One of the key changes in the revision is to establish a systematic approach to consider risk rather than treating prevention as a separate component of risk quality. See, what is risk? Actually, for example, from Qatar, you want to fly to India or you want to fly to Philippines. You have to find out what risk you are going to have during your travel. Maybe some airlines which you are going, they may be stopping at many places, so which may affect your program. There will be some airlines, they will not give you something when you want to go quickly. So this is the risk from the beginning you have to consider. Construction projects have abundance of risk affecting more participants in certain portion of overall construction project. You know, in construction, there are mainly 3 participants: owner, designer, and contractor. So everybody is involved in this risk. The construction industry makes an important contribution to the competitive innovation, prosperity of because most of the construction projects, they are capital investment projects, so it affects too much. If suppose something is going wrong and all the risk or the proper quality management system is not considered. Construction plays an important role in our drive to promote sustainability, growth, and development. What is construction projects? Everybody knows what is construction project, but this is the theoretical meaning of construction project, is translating owners' goals and objectives by the contractor to build the facility as stipulated in the contract documents, plans, specifications, as per the schedule, within budget. So it has certain limitations. It is not just you build something and it has to be as per the, it has to satisfy the owner's goals, owner's objective, what you want to satisfy, that it should comply with the contract document or specified plans, specifications within schedule and as per the budget. If they are not meeting this, then the construction project is not meeting the quality. Construction projects are custom oriented. It is not something like a normal thing. It is not a repetitive thing. For example, you are buying a mobile phone. It is not a custom oriented. You make it afterwards as per your choice, but construction is as what you want. See, traditional construction has mainly 3 participants: owner, designer, consultant, and contractor. What is quality definition? Quality is meeting the customer need, conformance to requirements, fitness for use. See, these are 3 items in the quality. Customer need, but if suppose you make something which is not fit for use, you are not meeting the quality. And in technical usage, quality has 2 meanings: the characteristics and ability of a product or services to satisfy stated or implied need. And second is a product or service free of deficiency. Nobody would like to have his product or his house or his mall to have some deficiency in it. So everybody has to consider from the quality point of view, it should be free of deficiency. What is quality of construction projects? Quality in construction projects is not only the quality of products and equipment used in the construction. It is not that something you select which is meeting the construction requirement. It is some and you consider some equipment which are meeting the specification, but it is not only that, it has to meet the total management. It is a total management approach to complete the facility. For example, you have some equipment but which are not giving as per your requirement. It means you have not selected the equipment properly, or maybe the equipment has certain defect or certain deficiency. So it is a total quality management approach to complete the facility as per the scope of works to the satisfaction of customer or the owner, to be completed within specified schedule and within a specified budget. And that in final, it should meet the defined purpose. There is something which has to meet the defined purpose. So here, these are the principles of quality based on CLIPS CFM. You know, CLIPS CFM, it is the 8 principles of ISO in the quality. For example, CLIP C is customer focus, leadership. So these are on the basis of these 8 principles, I have developed the principles for construction projects. For example, principle number 1, that is developed on the basis of customer focus. What is that? Designer consultant is responsible to provide owner's requirements explicitly and clearly, defining the standards of the end products and their compliance in the contract document. So who is the responsible? Designer and consultant. He is responsible for making the project as per the customer need. Then engineering design should be include the process, equipment, engineering system requirements clearly and without any ambiguity for the ease of operation. Whenever you are making some documents, it should not have any ambiguity, because if it is ambiguity, that it may go for litigation, it may go for discussion. The project and end product should satisfy owner's need requirement. For example, your own house you make, and if you are not able to use it, then it means you are not meeting the quality. Then what is second principle? Second principle is leadership. Leadership from the ISO principle. Owner, designer, consultant, contractor. These are all 4 leaders are fully responsible for application of quality management system to meet customer requirements. See, in construction, owner is there, designer is there, consultant is there, contractor is there. So it is the responsibility of everyone as a leader to make the quality of the project complete and as required by the owner. Every member of the project team should exert collaborative effort. It is not only single effort, it is collaborative effort in the functional areas to improve the quality of the project. Then principle 3, that is I, involvement or engagement of people. Each member of project team should participate and fully involved as per their abilities in all the functional areas. See, there are functional areas, for example, design, supervision, construction. So in all the functional areas, everybody has the involvement from the quality point of view. Then process approach, number 4, that is P, CLIP. Contractor to build the facility as stipulated in the contract document, plans, specifications as per the approved schedule within agreed budget and owner's objectives. Then contractor should study what is there required for the process approach. Contractor should study all the documents during bidding or tendering stage and submit his proposal taking into consideration all the requirements specified in the contract documents. It is the basic requirement that when you submit your bid or tendering tender, you have to consider all the requirements, what is there in the contract documents, considering the quality of the material, specification, time, duration, make of the product, identifying, understanding, and managing interrelated processes as the system is achieving. For example, when you are having the HVAC system, for HVAC system, you need electrical supply. So it is correlated. So this you have to consider that, okay, whatever is required, this is a process base. Then contractor is responsible to provide all the resources, manpower, material, equipment, etc. This is coming under process to build the facility as per the specification. Contractor to check executed and installed work. It is not that simply he make and then submit it. He has to check before he submit it to the consultant for checking and for approving the material and approving the work. He has to confirm that the works have been performed, executed as per specified, using specified material, specified product, approved shop drawing. This is one of the requirements that when he's constructing, he has to construct the facility taking into consideration the approved shop drawing, because there is a one procedure approval of shop drawing from the contractor side to the contractor submit the shop drawing to the consultant or the designer or the project manager, and they approve, and the construction has to be according to the approved shop drawing. Then installation method. See, the method of installation, whenever the equipments or the machineries are installed, the manufacturer of the product, they give certain installation method. So he has to follow up that installation method, specified references, codes, standards to meet the intended use. Then principle 5, this is system approach. Contractor to prepare contractor's quality control plan and follow the same to ensure meeting the performance standard. Everybody knows that when they are in a project, the contractor has to submit a quality control plan. Similarly, the contractor has to submit safety management plan. The basic thing is construction schedule. So one of the requirement from the quality point of view, quality control plan. So he has to follow the same. Then methods of payments have to be cleared in the specification, in the documents, and methods of payment, rate of analysis of bill and quantity, bill of material item to be agreed before signing the contract. This is the requirement, because if you don't go through all these, then there will be some confusion during the project stage. Contract documents should include clauses to settle the dispute. See, normally in every project there are certain disputes. There are some missing items are there. So it is better that all the contract documents include the clauses which specify how to settle the dispute when such things arises. Then principle 6 is continual improvement, that is C. Contractor shall allow the submitted procedure specified in the contract documents for detailed design, procurement, checklist, inspection, and testing procedure as per the communication matrix. In every project, there is a communication matrix which is approved prior to the start of the project. Review the contents of transmittals and executed works prior to submission for approval. Then principle 7 is fact F. CLI, from that one, it is factual approach to evidence-based design. Contractor shall follow an agreed upon quality assurance and quality control plan. Consultant or project management consultant shall be responsible to oversee the compliance with contract documents and specified standards and codes. Then from the principle 7, contractor is responsible to construct the facility to produce the products as specified and use the material, products, equipments, method which satisfy the specified requirement, that is factual approach to design making. Then principle 8 is M, that is M is mutual beneficial relationship. Contractor and all team members should participate and put collective efforts to perform the works as per the agreed upon construction program. So because it is not only one entity who is responsible for quality, it is everyone who is involved in the construction. All team members should focus on participative management and strong operational accountability at the individual contribution level to follow the principle of total quality management. What is risk? Now, from the definition of quality for the construction, we are now coming to the basic, what is risk? Risk is the probability that occurrence of an event may turn into undesirable outcome, maybe loss, maybe disaster, maybe disaster. It is virtually anything that threatens, limits the ability of an organization to achieve its objectives. Anything which is preventing to achieve the objective of the organization is a risk. It can be unexpected or unpredictable event, predictable event, which have the potential to damage the functionality of the organization in terms of money, or in worst situation, it may cause the business to close, because sometimes some risk may make you close your business because you will not be able to come out of that losses. Following are main categories of risk in construction projects. Number one, management. If you are not selecting proper project management system or project delivery system. Contract, you are not making a proper contract. Statutory or regulatory requirements. Technology is sometimes it is likely that new technology comes and you are not taking up that technology into your account. Then construction, risk during the construction. Then physical, maybe some damages. Logistic. Then health, safety and environmental, financial, economical, commercial, legal, political, and natural. And in each category, there are certain elements which are there in the part of the risk management. What is risk management? Risk management is the process of identifying, assessing, prioritizing different kinds of risk, planning risk mitigation, implementing mitigation plan, and controlling the risk. All these are part of the risk management. It is a process of thinking systematically about the possible risk, problems or disasters before they happen, setting up the procedure that will avoid the risk or minimize the impact or cope with the impact. Identification and management of risk at different phases of construction project will ensure completion of construction and making the project most competitive, qualitative, and economical. See, construction project has different phases depending on the type of the project. In some cases, there are 5 phases. In some major projects, it is 7 phases. So in each phase, you have to identify what is the risk involved. It is essential that risks are identified at each phase of the project and mitigate the effect of the risk on the project. Again here, the participation, involvement of owner, designer, contractors at different stages of project is required to develop sustainable construction and reduce or mitigate the risk. What is the objective of risk management? The objective of risk management are to increase the probability and impacts of positive events and decrease the probability and impacts of events adverse to the project objectives. See, our objective is to achieve the objectives of the project. So that is the meaning. What is risk management plan? Risk management plan is identifying how risk associated with project will be identified, analyzed, managed, and controlled. There are 4 items: identification, analyzing, managing, and controlling. And it is an iterative process. It is not stopped again and again, it goes on. Risk management is an integral part of the project management, and the risk is likely to occur at any stage of the project. Therefore, the risk has to be continually monitored, and you have to monitor all the time. You should not just stop that it has occurred, then it may not occur. So you have to go on continuously. The risk management plan outlines how risk activities will be performed, recorded, and monitored throughout the life cycle of the project. It is intended to maximize the positive impact or the benefit of the project and decrease or minimize or eliminate the impact of events adverse to the project. Either you can decrease, you can minimize, or you can eliminate. So these are the three alternative arrangements for the risk. The risk management must commence early in the project development stage. That is from the study stage itself. Study stage is when the project inception is there, that is the study stage. And then when you substantial completion, that is handing over stage. And proceed as per the project evolves and more information about the project is available. Here, this is a project management process. Identify risk, prepare risk register, eliminate, analyze, analyze the risk, that is either qualitative or competitive or qualitative or quantitative. Then quantification of risk, that is prioritization. Then you have to establish alternate risk, alternate techniques, select best alternative, implement the chosen risks, monitor and improve, and again, this is ongoing process. It is not that simply you stop here after monitoring and satisfying this. What is risk management process? The risk management process is designed to reduce or eliminate the risk of certain kind of events happening or having impact on the project. The risk process consists of following. Identify the potential source of risk on the project. This is what, it is not that we have to find out, it is no, we have to go through deep analysis. There are certain techniques, tools and techniques, for example, brainstorming, Delphi technique. These are the techniques which are involved for identifying the potential risk. Then analyzing the risk qualitatively and quantitatively. Then select with the significant impact on the project. You have to select what is the impact on the project, whether it is high impact, low impact, or middle impact. There are certain categories of impact also. Prioritization. Then determine how the impact of risk can be reduced, either by avoiding it, or transferring it, or reducing it, or retention it. Or sometimes if the risk is very low, you may say, okay, let it be, I will accept it, and now I will go with the project. Then select the best alternative. Whatever is the best for the project, you have to select and proceed accordingly. Develop and implement mitigation plan. You have to develop implementation plan, how to mitigate the risk. Monitor and control the risk by implementing risk management, risk process plan, tracking identified risk, identifying new risk. You have to track again and again. If suppose there is a risk, it should not reappear again. This is a table which shows the different levels of risk. Level 5, level 4, level 3. This is a very high risk. Probability of occurrence is 40 to 80%. Level 4 is high risk. Probability of it is likely to happen. It means the probability is 20 to 40%. Then third is moderate, maybe 10 to 20%. And then second level is low, 5 to 10%. And level 1 is very low. The probability of occurrence is less, but still you have to consider that is 0 to 5, because it is always better for us to consider the level, so accordingly, so the project is not affected. Construction projects have many varying risks. Risk management throughout the life cycle of the project is important and essential to prevent unwanted consequences and effect on the risk. Consultant projects have involvement of many stakeholders such as owners, developers, design firms, contractors, banks, financial institutions, funding of the project who are affected by the risk. It is not only the contractor or the owner is affected, there are so many other entities, they are also affected in it. Each of these parties have involvement with certain portion of overall construction projects. However, the owner has a great share of risk, as the owner is involved from the inception until completion of the project and beyond. because he is the owner of the project, so he controls all the organizations which are involved for execution of the project. So he is the most likely to be affected because of the risk. The owner must take initiative to develop risk consciousness and awareness among all the parties. That is why in the contract itself, it is written the risk management plan has to be submitted by the contractor, by the consultant. So everything has to be done in accordingly. Traditionally, owner or client is responsible for investment or financing of the risk. Designer is responsible for designing risk, for design risk. Then contractor is responsible for construction risk. These are three major items. Construction projects are characterized very complex. See, projects are very complex because of the involvement of many participants into it. When uncertainty comes from various sources, because see, you are depending on certain material with some outside parties. You are depending for construction on the contractor. You are depending on the design with the owner, with the designer. So it has multiple involvement of many organizations. So risk can come from any part of it. They have varying project expectations. Those influence in other parts on the other is in addition to, there are other players, means vendors, supplier of the material. You don't know, you are taking care of the quality of the material, but still it could happen that there is a risk in what he has supplied. The relationship and the contractual grouping of those who are involved is also more complex and contractual varied. Construction projects often require large amount of material and physical tools to move or modify these materials. So there could be risk. And after you buy the material, transportation is a risk, packing is a risk. So all this you have to consider. Most items used in construction projects are normally produced, manufactured by other construction related industries. So the risk is not limited to your own organization, that is the owner. It has implication from the outside parties also, who are going to supply you the material, vendor, maybe manpower supplier, maybe resources. So therefore the risk in construction is multifaceted. Construction project inherently contain high degree of risk in their projection of cost and time, as each is unique. So because of the risk, maybe cost will go high, or maybe there will be a delay in your completion of the project. So this is you have to consider. No construction projects are without any risk. This is the final conclusion. Risk management is an ongoing process. In order to reduce the risk in construction project, the risk assessment, that is identification, analysis, evaluation process, must start as early as possible to maximize project benefit. For example, you should not wait till the construction is in the middle of the construction. You have to find out from the beginning, the contract construction manager, what are going to be the risk, probable risk, and what are the level of that risk. So accordingly, he can plan risk management process. There are a number of risks which can be identified at each stage of the project. Early identification can lead to better estimation of cost in the project method, whether through contingencies, contractual, or insurance. Risk identification is most important function in construction projects. So this is one of the things you have to start from the beginning. From the, say for example, if the designer is designing a project, he has to consider if there is any risk. What would be the risk if suppose he forgot to mention certain specification in the document? Risk factors in construction project can be categorized into a number of ways according to level of details or selected viewpoints. These are categorized based on various risk factors and sources of risk. Contractor has to identify related risks affecting the construction, analyze these risks, evaluate effects on the contract, and evolve the strategy to counter this risk before bidding for a construction contract. This is the responsibility of the contractor. He has to consider the risk during the bidding. For example, he has not studied the contract drawings and the bill of quantity. So maybe the bill of quantity, the quantities are different than the design, the contract drawings. So that is the risk, because what is the priority of the evaluation during the evaluation of the variation, it will supersede. So maybe he will be losing. Construction projects mainly relate to following: scope and change management, schedule time management, budget or cost management, quality management, resource and manpower management, communication management, procurement and contract management, health, safety and environmental management. Then this is the table which is giving probability and impact ratio. Level 5, for example, you have to consider this very high. Level 4, this, then level 5. So this is the risk assessment matrix for scope, schedule and cost you have to make for your project. Quality of construction project is defined as a trilogy of defined project, defined scope, schedule, budget. See, this is the quality trilogy of construction: defined scope, schedule, budget. So the owner's defined scope should be meet the schedule and budget. If anything is going away, then you are not meeting the quality. It is the trilogy or of the construction. This is also called triple constraint: defined scope, schedule, and because this is a triangle, so triple constraint. Risk management construction project mainly focused on delivering the project with what was originally accepted, that as per defined scope, agreed upon time, that is schedule, agreed upon budget, that is cost. The probability of risk occurring and the impacts is the basis of evaluating the degree for which the response action is to be evolved. Taking early step to reduce the probability of risk is more effective and less costly than repairing the damage after the occurrence of the risk. For example, you have to consider from the beginning what is the risk and take the action at that time. Otherwise, if it occurs, then it may involve more cost and you have to pay more, not from the payment point of view, maybe the time point of view also. See, the table 4, this is the potential risk and what is the mitigation plan. For example, scope. This is one of the trilogy of the quality. What is the scope in this? Suppose incomplete design. So how you can control that? Raise request for information, resolve issue according to the contract documents. What is the potential risk? Second risk: incomplete scope of work. The designer or the consultant has not included all the scope of work. So how you can control or the mitigate risk? In that case also, the contractor has to make an RFI, and then probably he has to take into consideration what are the contract documents says in such cases. Then design changes. During the construction, possibly there will be some design change. So how you can control or mitigate? Follow contract document. There also, see, in the contract document, everything is covered. Then design mistake. Same thing for the design mistake. Resolve the issue in accordance with the contract document, raise RFI and find out why it has happened, what is the reason. Then scope or change management, design changes. There is likely that there will be changes in the design either due to owner requirement or maybe due to non-inclusion in the design document. So in such case, what you have to do, either to keep to the schedule, compress the schedule, resolve change order issues in order to not to delay the project. This is best way. because it is not that simply and there is a chain, so you ask for the extension of the schedule. Then different site condition to the information provided. For example, you have gone to a site which is more muddy. Then what you have to do? Contractor to investigate site condition prior to starting the relevant. This is what one of the important aspect of it, that he should not leave it to that, he should visit. So normally during the tendering stage, there is one item, it is called site visit, that is open for the bidders. Then inadequate site investigation data, maybe they have investigated, but it is not properly investigated. Then conflict in contract document. There are always some conflicting things are there. So these conflicting things normally you have to resolve amicably. Then errors and omissions in contract documents. This is also to be resolved amicably. Then 10th item, incomplete specifications. Then conflict with different trades. Normally it happens that some items are shown in the electrical drawings, and some items are shown in the contract mechanical design, some items are shown in the civil design, and they are not matching. So this conflict has to be resolved with the has to be resolved with the coordination with all the trades, and make coordination and composite drawings. The inappropriate construction method. There is possibility some methods mentioned in the construction are not applicable and you cannot make it. So this has to be resolved also according to the method of statement by the supplier of the equipment and as per the site conditions. And quality of material. Locate suppliers having proven record of supplying quality product. Just don't go to anybody, just he's giving you a cheaper product. You have to consider that he is supplying you the product which fully meets the specification requirement. Then second is risk. Second is schedule. This is also the trilogy of the quality. Incompetent subcontractor. This is from the schedule. Contractor has to monitor because if the subcontractor is incompetent, he will not be able to proceed with the contract schedule, and there will be a delay. So you have to be more careful and monitor his workshop, his progress, his workmanship. Then second is delay in transfer of site. There is always, you sign the contract and there is a delay in transferring the site to the contractor. So accordingly, maybe it is a very small period. So this has to be mutually agreed and mutually adjusted. Delay in mobilization. This is again, you have to consider the construction schedule and avoid it, unnecessarily discussions. Then project schedule, compressed duration of activities. If suppose the schedule is exceeding the agreed upon schedule, you compress it. Then inappropriate plan or schedule. Contractor to prepare schedule taking into consideration site condition, all the requirement parameters. What are the required parameters in the site? He has to consider when he is preparing the schedule. Then delay in change order negotiation. See, normally a contractor submits a change order to the project manager or to the owner, and it takes a long time. So this has to be considered, and it has to be negotiated and resolved at the earliest stage, so the project duration is not affected. Then the resource availability. This may affect the schedule. Contractor to make extensive research and find out from where he can get the good quality material. Then the resources, that is labor. Labor is low productive. So that's a risk. So he has to engage competent and skilled laborers. Then equipment or plant productivity. Maybe the equipment is not giving a proper productivity, what has been needed as per the specification. Contractor hire or purchase equipment to meet project productivity requirements. Then insufficient skilled force. Contractor hires workforce from alternate. Maybe there is the force. See, for example, you are depending on the workforce from many areas. So maybe you are not able to get the skilled workforce from the one place, so you have to consider the alternate source. And one of the item for schedule is failure or delay in machinery of equipment. That is, when you place the order and the material is not coming in time, so you have to plan your procurement activity well in advance. Then failure or delay of material delivery. This is also, you have to plan the procurement, because this will affect the schedule. Delay in approval of submitters. You submitted your approval procedure submitted, but the owner or the project manager has not taken action as per the stipulated, maybe 2 weeks or 3 weeks period. So you have to notify that you are getting delayed, so it may affect the project schedule. And delay in payment. Normally contractor is not paid in time, so contractor has to have some contingency plan to ensure that the project is not delayed because of the financial performances. Then statutory or regulatory delay, regularly follow up with the government authorities if there are any changes in the codes or standards. Then the third item of the trilogy, quality trilogy, is cost. Low bid project cost. Contractor to try competitive material, improve method statement, and higher production rate from its manpower. Then variation in construction material price. Contractor to negotiate, because you bid some price and then the prices have gone up. So you have to negotiate with the manufacturer or a supplier to ensure that he keep to the prices which are competitive and which will meet your requirement. Then damaged equipment. This is the cost. You brought some material and got damaged. So this is also, you have to consider the risk for such things also. And you have to properly store the material so it is not getting damaged. Then damage to stores material. This is also same thing. Then structure collapse. You did some construction and then it collapsed. Contractor to ensure that formwork and scaffolding is properly installed. This is the control measure and mitigation action. Then leakage of hazardous material. You have stored some hazardous material, so you have to take care that such material are properly stored. This is from the HSC requirement. Then what are the general? These are general risks. Failure of team members not performing as expected. You hired somebody and he is not performing well. So what you have to do in such case? Change in laws and regulations. Access to work site. There is not proper access to a workshop. There are no roads. How you have to go? This is also one of the risks you have to consider when you are bidding or when you are constructing the project. Then there is a theft at site. This is also risk. You are not knowing that there will be a theft. Then fire at site. Then injuries. Contractor to keep first aid, provide the provision at site, take immediate action to provide medical aid. The new technology. See, the project duration is maybe 2 years, 3 years, and during that time there is some new technology come. So you have to consider and mutually agree with the owner, project owner or the designer to ensure that the addition of the new technology will be for the better performance of the project. In conclusion, management of risk on all the 3 elements of the construction quality, that is scope, schedule, cost, ensure completion of project and making the project most qualitative, competitive and economical. Thank you very much. Thank you both the organizations for giving me an opportunity to share my views. See, this material is from one of my book, Handbook of Construction Management, Scope, Schedule and Cost Control. This is published by CRC Press. So
you can share this presentation slides later on, right? Okay, it is there already. Okay, good.
Ma'am Michaela?
Yes, Chairman. Okay, so thank you so much, Dr. Albino. Abdul Razak for the very informative and precise presentation. And this topic is really helpful as we all know that we cannot go around risk because everything involves some risk. So may it be something big or small or developing, everything is involving risks. And it's really easy to be paralyzed on indecision and non-action when we are faced with risk. But thanks to the experiences of the professionals and the learnings that we are acquiring nowadays, that we are able to learn how risks are managed. So we can know like how risks are being, transferred, shared, or mitigated in order to proceed with the project. And now we are gonna proceed to our Q&A portion. May I call on again our moderator, Engineer Lorraine Rodan, for the reading of the questions. Ma'am Lorraine?
Hi, good morning. As of now, we don't have any question from our participants.
Yeah, we don't have any question, but at this moment, I'm afraid our doctor or our presenter will ask questions to the participants. This is a very more exciting, perhaps. Okay, so there's no
Another one
question.
now.
Okay.
No, there's one entry
Okay, proceed.
from Mr. Harris. Cost of wish list, quality requirements versus revenue from imminent operation. How is this to be administered?
Can you please repeat it?
Cost of wish list, quality requirement versus revenue from imminent operations. How is this to be administered?
No, I didn't understand what exactly you want to say.
Sorry, to me this one.
Mr. Harris Babu, may I ask Mr. Harris Babu to respond to the questions? Cost of wish list. Cost of wish list.
Wish list.
Wish list. WISH.
So
wish list.
Wish.
Is it cost of wish list? I will consider from the construction point of view. For example, there is no wish list in the construction. The construction is you should have a defined scope listed in the contract document. If anything is there that is coming under variation, the variation can be wish list means the the owner want to add something more which was not included earlier. So I can consider this as a wish list, or the contractor want to change certain material to different kind of material. That is also his wish list. So this has to be mutually agreed according to the contract document. For example, if it needs variation, it has to be resolved with the request for information, variation orders. If it or substitute, if suppose the material is being substituted with different thing, that is the wish of the contractor. So it has to be there is also a substitution clause in the contract construction. So it has to be taken care of according to that.
Okay, thank you. There's another one. Is risk management included in BIM?
Pardon?
Is risk management included in BIM?
I didn't get it actually. If you can explain.
Is risk management included in BIM?
Yes, there is a BIM also. Yeah. Yeah, I have already, in the book which is there, I have already included one chapter BIM, how quality is related with the BIM. How you can control the quality with the BIM.
Okay, thank you.
Because this one, when I published the book in 2013, that time the BIM was a new topic. Now it is a common topic.
Okay. I think that's all the questions. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Abdul. Is there any question from our participants?
Yeah, if there is anything, they can contact Engineer Abdul Sattar. I will be glad to share the information, whatever they are needing.
No issue.
No more questions?
Yeah, no more. I think. Okay.
No more questions. So
Everybody want to enjoy. No?
everyone is maybe amazed and maybe awed with the presentation of our Dr. Abdul Razak. Now, Miss Micaela is now pasting the Google Forms for the attendance of the for today's collaboration webinar, and we will proceed to the awarding of certificates.
All right. To our speakers, please stay there for a while as we award
May I
the.
ask also Engineer Elvin Pahutagana to please open your video, please, or your cam.
Once again, thank you to our speakers. Thank you for gracing us with your presence and also with your wonderful presentations. I know this will be very helpful to our participants, especially our engineers in the construction projects. And as we all know, construction plays a major role in our country's developments. Now to award our certificate.
I guess Engineer Elvin is not around. He is within another webinar, I guess. So, okay, let's proceed. Please read Engineer Espiritu.
The Philippine Institute of Civil Engineers, Qatar Chapter, and Institution of Engineers, India, Qatar Chapter. Certificate of Appreciation is hereby awarded to Engineer Elvin D. Pautagana in grateful acknowledgement of the invaluable service as a resource speaker during the conduct of PICE IEI collaboration webinar held on 30th of July 2021 and given this 30th of July 2021. Signed by the PICE Qatar COCPA Chairman and Webinar Director, Engineer Oshford Acera, also by the PICE Qatar Chapter Secretary, Engineer Dave Sanchez, PICE Qatar's Second Vice President, Engineer Rohel Banal, and PICE Qatar Chapter President, Engineer Mark Antonio Bendan, and also the Honorable Chairman of the IEI Qatar Chapter, Engineer Abdul Sattar. Thank you so much, Sir Elvin.
Thank you.
And also we would like to give our certificate of appreciation to be awarded to Dr. Abdul Razak Romani in grateful acknowledgement of the invaluable service as a resource speaker during the conduct of PICE IEI collaboration webinar held on 30th of July 2021 and given this 30th of July 2021 signed by PICE Qatar COCPA Chairman and Webinar Director, Engineer Oshford Acera, and PICE Qatar Chapter Secretary, Engineer Dave Sanchez, PICE Qatar Second Vice President, Engineer Rahel Banal, PICE Qatar Chapter President, Engineer Mark Antonia Bendan, and of course, the Honorable Chairman of the IEI Qatar Chapter, Engineer Abdul Sattar. Thank you, sir, Dr. Abdul.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, sirs. And thank you also once again to the participating organizations that we have today, PICE Qatar Chapter and also IER Qatar Chapter. So this is
Ma'am
the
Mika,
first. Yes, sir.
please also read the certificate of appreciation to Engineer Abdul Sattar.
Yeah, sure. So this also, the certificate of appreciation is hereby awarded also to Engineer Abdul Sattar in grateful acknowledgement of the invaluable service during the conduct of PICE IEI collaboration webinar held on 30th of July 2021 and given this 30th of July 2021, signed by PICE Qatar COPPA Chairman and Webinar Director, Engineer Oshford Acera, PICE Qatar Chapter Secretary, Engineer Dave Sanchez, PIC Qatar Second Vice President Engineer Rahel Banal, and of course PIC Qatar Chapter President Engineer Mark Anthony Abendan.
And last but not least,
And also, Certificate of Appreciation is hereby awarded to Engineer Mark Anthony Abendan in grateful acknowledgement of the invaluable service during the conduct of PICE IEI collaboration webinar held on 30th of July 2021, and given this same day, 30th of July 2021, signed by PIC Qatar COPPA Chairman and Webinar Director, Engineer Ashford Acera, PIC Qatar Chapter Secretary, Engineer Dave Sanchez, PIC Qatar Second Vice President, Engineer Rohel Banal, and the Honorable Chairman of IEI Qatar Chapter, Engineer Abdul Sattar. All right, thank you so much, sirs. And again, for the participants, please kindly fill in the Google form that we have sent in the chat box that will serve as one of the basis of your attendance. And now for our closing remarks, may I call on the Second Vice President of the Philippine Institute of Civil Engineers Qatar Chapter, Engineer Rohel Banan.
Hello, am I audible?
yes, loud and clear. Second VP.
Good morning, everyone. I hope and I believe that you have learned something. On behalf of PIC Qatar, I would like to thank all of you who participated this very inspiring presentation. And I would like to express my sincerest thanks to all the people behind this collaboration webinar. The facilitator, COCPA team, headed by Engineer Osborne Dacera, our beautiful host and moderator, Engineer Micaela Espiritu and Engineer Lorraine Radan. Our very supportive past president and Engineer Hilario Amogis for always there and sharing the link. Thank you also for the organizer, our very own PIC Qatar President, Engineer Mark Anthony Abendan, and IEI Qatar Chapter Chairman, Engineer Abdul Sattar, for their support and initiative to make this collaboration webinar possible. To our talented resource speaker, Engineer Elvin Pahutagana of PICE Qatar, and Dr. Abdul Razak Krumane of IEI for sharing their valuable expertise and very informative presentation. And I would like to thank also the PIC Qatar Board of Directors 2021 committee members and all the past presidents of PIC Qatar who continuously supporting every event of our beloved organization. And lastly, but not the least, to all PIC Qatar active members, the Institution of Engineers India Qatar chapter members and Execom, thank you so much for participating and attending this collaboration webinar. Without you, this webinar will not be possible. To all of you, we are hoping to see you again in the future. Once again, thank you so much. Good morning, keep safe, and God bless everyone. Back to you, Ma'am Mika.
Thank you,
Wonderful.
Engineer Banal, for your remarks. And ladies and gentlemen, I posted on the chat box. Kindly fill in the Google form, and that will serve as part of your attendance. Okay, also the presentation materials and the certificates will be given to you after the webinar. And I'm requesting all the participants to please stay there for a while because we will be having a group photo. Farman?
Yes. May I call Engineer Elvin to help us to promote all the attendees? I guess we have only 100 attendees so that they can share the picture of our resource speakers, including yourself. Engineer Elvin?
Okay,
May,
starting now.
I would take this opportunity to thank our resource speaker and also our very active chairman of the IEI, Engineer Abdul Sattar, and
Thank you.
also the committees, Engineer Michaela. Thank you very much for hosting the webinar.
Thank you, Sherman.
Okay, so may I ask everyone who's in the panelist now to please open your cam to let's have a group photo. Everyone, please open your video cam now so that we can take a picture. I will not call one by one.
Friday, no, they are in the room, maybe.
Yeah, but safety first. No, maybe they are driving.
Yeah.
Please try to accept the invitation so that you can enter the panelist room.
I will not call everyone.
You cannot start your video because the host is stopped it.
Okay.
But is saying that
Press
their
Lars,
cam
baka
is
pwede mo i-allow lahat to on video.
Could you enable all the video, please? Many of our attendees are saying camera is disabled. Allow all video.
Allow.
All videos.
Allow,
Yeah.
allow.
I mean cam.
Play sound, allow. Okay, yes. Try.
Check Rahul and Prabhagar if they
Cannot start your video because the host is stopped. So still.
Press Lars, I think you have the.
Prabhagar, yes, okay. Everybody's now okay. Mubashir.
I think you are all allowed now.
Rahul Anand, please turn on the video.
It's okay, thank you.
They're engineers. Once we promote you, actually you check your screen. And
Yeah,
that's
you can
it.
access. Yes.
certificate of attendance is hereby
I guess they're all online now. So just smile for about 1 minute so I can I can took all of you for 1 minute. I will ask everyone to smile for 1 minute so that we could verify also your attendance. And thank you to all the participants also from IEI, Institution of Engineers India Qatar chapter, for attending this very informative and amazing webinar. And also, of course, to our PIC Qatar members. Thank you very much for participating. Okay, so 1/3. Smile starts now. Okay, 2/3.
Cannot open the video, please.
You're still cannot open the video.
Maybe Michaela needs to sing so that they can open their video.
Maybe the camera will crash.
That's exactly what we see play out over the course of the last few weeks. That's our expectation for the second markets. In particular, we like stock.
Actually, there are still 39 attendees in the other room. They are still not moving. I moved them many times, but still.
I think we also have students from Visma, am I right?
Yes.
There are a lot of students here. Hello, students, welcome.
We have a lot of young engineers from Western Mindanao. Where else? To all the attendees in the other room, please accept the invite to move in the panelist room. Because there are still 25 in the other room. Anyway, if they will not accept, then that's all, Chairman. You can take another round of picture taking. You have 83 attendees
Inside
already
the panelist.
in the panelist room.
Okay. Because just to be reminded to all participants, this also will be cross-checked with your attendance if you're already here, because the link could easily be shared to others and we will see the timestamp. Then we will cross-check the attendees with your time in and time out of the webinar itself. And because the attendees will be receiving the PDF, and it's very unfair to others who are not attending the webinar. And this is a very informative and very delicate also. There are photos and informations that are very confidential and not to be shared with the others. And I mean, this information and knowledge also from our resource speakers are not easily, I mean, this is not get from the table on 1 minute. They tried hard to furnish and prepare for this presentation. So please be reminded. We will know.
Thank you.
Sir, just to acknowledge, I have mentee from Mariano Marcos State University and Zamboanga Peninsula Polytechnic State University. Thank
Hello.
you for a very good presentation.
Western Mindanao State University. Thank you.
Welcome.
Welcome, future engineers.
Young budding engineers, no, budding engineers. Okay. Thank you. I appreciate PICE for inviting us also and associating for this program. It was an excellent and wonderful arrangement and the coordination, as well as the organization or those who are worked behind this program is very much appreciated. Sincerely, we would express on behalf of Institute of Engineers Qatar chapter a big appreciation to PICE. Definitely, we will continue this collaboration and more programs in associate with the PICE. Thank you very much, and we are leaving now. Thank you.
Thank you.
Engineer Mark, I think he's behind the screen. He's in the
Okay,
office,
one more.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you, Mr. Engineer Mark.
We have a good number now. Most of the attendees are in the
Panelists.
So you are taking again the group photo, Engineer Elvin?
Yes, because a while ago there are only around 50 or 60.
Okay.
Now we have
no issue.
How many in the panelist room now? 100. It's full pack. So we have to take another.
So smile again for 1 minute.
Yes. Okay. First group, 1, 2, 3, smile. Great. So another group, 1 minute. I'll just share this picture in the group chat so everybody can grab it. Second group. There you are. Just smile. 1, 2, 3. Nice. Beautiful smile. Especially the young engineers from the Philippines. I know they have enjoyed watching and listening the presentation. One more. Last group. So 1, 2, 3, smile. Great. That's it. There are 9 attendees left in the attendees room, but they didn't accept. So I think let's leave them there.
Chairman,
Okay,
I
thank
think,
you. Yes.
Chairman, I think someone raised his hand. I think someone raised his hand. Sir Daniel Sutrono.
Why? What happened to
May
Channel?
nag-raise po ng hand kanina. Maybe he has queries or questions. Done. Okay, it's done now.
All right. God bless everyone.
God bless.
Back to the host pala. Bakit ako po?
Thank you very much to all. Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam.
Happy weekend.
Waalaikumsalam, sir.
Happy weekend.
Happy weekend.
Thank you. See you next webinar.
See you on the next webinar.
Ang aga na host there. Good morning.